Now, it's time to meet the players of college sports today, presented by the Allen Law Firm, and get this show started. He's a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, a first-round NFL draft choice, and a member of the College Football Hall of Fame as both a player and coach. He is the head ball coach, Steve Spurrier. He's a rare two-time SEC Player of the Year and spent over a decade in the NFL. Ladies and gentlemen, Shane Matthews. And presenting the host of the show, with over 25 years of sports broadcasting experience, Terry Norvell. Coming to you from the Future Home Loan Studio inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, it's time for College Sports Today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell. Presented by the Allen Law Firm.
And we kick off a Friday edition, College Sports Today. We're inside the Future Home Loans studio, of course, inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. College Sports Today presented by the Allen Law Firm. I'll tell you all about all of our great sponsors as we go. Coach Steve Spurrier is here. I'm Terry Norvell. Shane Matthews about 11:15 with our picks, Coach. We'll get Shane on here, take a quick break, and get Shane on. Some pretty decent football last night I want to get to. We'll go over some of the games that stood out. Let's lead off, Coach Spurrier, though. Florida tomorrow. Not a big opponent. We'll get into Miami because they play a big opponent, and Georgia, they play a big opponent, and Florida State. Florida, what do you expect tomorrow? Obviously, all eyes on Emory Jones, but it's the opener, a crowd back in. What do you expect from Florida tomorrow against FAU?
Yeah, last night, Dan Mullen does his call-in show here, and I was on for 5-10 minutes with him. Since it's here at the restaurant. But anyway, we're talking about Emory Jones. You know, this is his 4th year at Florida. So he's a veteran guy. He hadn't played all that much, but he has played in the games for the last 2-3 years, I guess. Redshirted that first year. But he is a guy that's been to all the meetings. He's watched the tape. He knows the game plans. He knows the scheme, the progressions, all those kind of things. So he's almost like a veteran quarterback here. Think about it. How many quarterbacks stay 4 years anywhere?
Not in this day and age.
So I think Emory's ready to play. I really do. And Anthony Richardson will probably play somewhere in there. I don't know if it's first half, second half. But Anthony is a talent also. But what we got a whole bunch of new receivers, ready to go. Lost all those guys from last year, especially Pitts and Tony. But Shorter and Trent Whittemore.
Copeland, and those guys.
Copeland played a bit last year, but the top guys are gone, but that doesn't mean we're going to lose production. So it's going to be very interesting to watch all these guys play and see if they can step in there like those receivers and like Kyle Trask played last year.
Feel free to drop us a Facebook Live comment. If you're consuming this show on our show page, College Sports Today, drop a comment. We'll try and read those. If you're following the show on our 1010XL Facebook page, same thing. Drop us a comment. We'll try and read all those. Staying with Florida real quick, Coach, and then we'll bounce around your overviews of some of the games last night, take a break, and then get Shane on and do our picks. And going back to Emory Jones, well, you're dead on. I don't have the numbers dead in front of me, but off the top of my head, Emory Jones has thrown right around 100 passes. Emory Jones has rushed the football in games right around 100 times. He's played a lot of football. Emory Jones has led drives at night at LSU and got Florida in the end zone. He's led drives against Auburn a couple of years ago when they needed a field goal. He's played against Georgia and Oklahoma and the Alabamas. Emory Jones has played a lot of football. I think he's going to be fine. The eyes on Emory Jones, and then I think the Gator eyeballs will be on Florida's defense. I think Florida's defense, starting tomorrow, I think they are raring to go and put last year behind them.
Yeah, I really think so also. If you look back on maybe where we made some mistakes last year, and I know Shane always talked about it, he thought we played too many players all the time. And when teams are running this hurry-up offense, you can't substitute all the time on defense, but you can still substitute, don't get me wrong. But playing your best players most of the game, and maybe the assignments not being confusing. The more I watch football, the more I say if that team just played the three-deep zone defense, they wouldn't give up all these big plays. Ohio State last night in Minnesota. Ohio State hits, 5 big touchdown passes or 4 of them in the second half. And I'm just sitting there thinking, those DBs at Minnesota, they can't cover the guy the whole field.
No, Coach, no.
And if they just had that safety back there in the middle, they might could have won that game last night.
And we'll get to this in a moment, but Minnesota had to here was Minnesota's scoring drives. They're fighting and clawing, and they're doing this, Coach, to get down the field, and then bingo, bango, bongo, they give up over the top the whole game to Ohio State.
Yeah, the big plays. The big plays killed Minnesota. But, man, they played with effort. It was a wonderful game to watch. I hope their running back, Muhammad Ibrahim is his name, is not hurt seriously, but he went out there in about the third quarter. But, man, he is a great back.
Coach, he was looking at, without the injury, he was looking at a 200-yard game against Ohio State now.
I mean, he's not a tall guy, and he gets his pads low, and he's always finding just a little crack and running forward. I was really impressed with him, and I think he had over 100 yards before he got hurt.
Well over.
But when he got hurt, that hurt Minnesota a little bit. But they got some bad calls. Man, I felt sorry for P.J. Fleck when the targeting, they did not call the targeting. That was a big play in the game, I thought. The Minnesota receiver got knocked out and fumbled, and they just called it a fumble. Ohio State ball. So
that's a tough call.
Sometimes the referees can decide who wins the game also.
That was a tough call, but putting Florida to bed, and we'll finish off a couple more games from last night, get Coach's thoughts, your thoughts as well. Putting Florida to bed, though, I expect Florida defensively, Coach, they were, when you use the baseball analogy, there's a baseball analogy that says good baseball teams are strong up the middle, catcher, middle infield, and center fielder. There's an old baseball analogy. I think that's true with football defenses. I think Florida was soft, I thought, in the middle of their defensive line last year. They weren't big and stout. Middle linebacker was average, and I thought Florida's safety play for 2 or 3 years has been really bad. I expect Florida to be, they're a year older, they're stronger, they're big. I think Florida's going to be really good.
I do too.
Defensively.
I think we'll be much improved, and I think maybe the mistakes we made during last year's season, we can correct them. So, I'm really looking forward to watching this one tomorrow night.
Getting back Ohio State, we broke that down some. Young quarterback, looked like he grew up a little bit, the Ohio State guy. Minnesota had the quarterback advantage. They had that senior that he's not real talented, but he managed the game. The Minnesota, Tanner Morgan, I think it was his name. He's been there a while. The Ohio State guy did, Stroud, I think it was, C.J. Stroud. Didn't have a great first half, but Coach, what I liked, and you must too as a quarterback coach, he got better in the second half. The game looked like it slowed down a little bit. The Ohio State quarterback, redshirt freshman, first game.
Yeah, well, they gave him some good plays, and like I said, if you're going to tell a defensive back who's a safety to cover that Olave guy, is that his name?
Olave, great player.
To cover the whole field, you better be rushing 7 or 8 guys. You got to come back and say, Coach, I can't cover the corner and the post on that guy. You expecting me to do that? And then they ran that crossing play, and nobody even went with the guy. But if they'd been in a 3-deep zone, that stops those big plays.
And, Coach, all the years you've coached and as a player, the worst thing I think a coach can do to any player in any sport is ask the player to do something he can't do.
That's right.
You just can't ask a guy to do something he can't do. Tennessee, not a great opponent. Bowling Green, not one of the better teams. I didn't expect to see much from Tennessee. It's a rebuild still. They're really rebuilding. I wasn't that impressed with Tennessee. I don't think the Milton kid can play, the quarterback. He's the transfer from Michigan. I think Tennessee, playing a bad team, they scored some points there at the end. You watched a little bit of that Tennessee game. What did you think overall, Tennessee, the Vols?
Well, Tennessee actually scored their first 2 possessions. Remember that?
Yeah.
And I thought, man, they're going to really run away and leave Bowling Green. But it's only 14-6 at half. And then it went, what was the final, 28-6 or 30?
I think they got into the 30s, 38-6 or 31. Yeah, they got into the 30s.
Yeah, Bowling Green, I think they were winless last year.
I think they were.
They went over. And they may go over this year from what people say. So it was a good win, though, for Tennessee. And I tell you what, their crowd was there. You got to give those Vol fans an A for supporting their team. They were there screaming and yelling and so forth. So it's only the first game. And Josh Heupel and his guys, You know, I don't know how good they're going to be. Time will tell.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. That team I saw last night certainly doesn't look upper half of the SEC. I don't know if people realize just how stripped down the talent level has been in Knoxville the last 3 or 4 years. They're really rebuilding from the ground up. But it's a win. Tennessee hasn't had a lot of wins lately. It's a win. The shame of the game, the shame of last night watching or trying to watch was the weather that delayed the UCF-Boise State game that ended up being a great game. Coach, I couldn't stay up. It was delayed 3 hours. Couldn't stay up. Boise State kicks a field goal. When I go to bed, they're up 24-7. I go, Boise's going to run them out of the gym. Coach, great comeback for UCF. If you missed it late, UCF came back and won that thing. Talk about that game. I know you watched some of it.
I'm like you. I went to sleep in the second half. I think it was 24-14.
Yeah.
But, it was a good win for Gus Malzahn and his guys. And I tell you what, Gus was coaching his tail off over there. He was yelling and screaming at not only the players but his assistant coaches, get that guy in there and get that guy out. So it was a really good win for UCF. They got high hopes to have a big season, and that was they beat a very good Boise team.
Very good.
Yeah, Boise could have won that one, but
Tough opener.
UCF came back and won it. So that was wonderful for them and probably for their season.
And I know Boise State, their first-year coach as well, Avalos came from Oregon because Harsin is at Auburn. Obviously, first-year coach at both schools last night. Yeah. But, boy, not that Gus Malzahn wrote checks that his you-know-what can't cash, but he spent all summer kind of talking up UCF and his program, which he should. It's his program. But it would have been kind of a downer if they'd lost that opener.
It would have been. And Boise's very good, though.
And they're very good.
You know, they came in here and beat FSU last year, I think, or 2 years ago. So they're a tradition-rich program, Boise State. They're going to win a bunch, probably win their conference out there. Yeah. So it was a wonderful victory for UCF.
Real quick, before we take a quick break, come back. Shane Matthews will join us. We'll get our picks, our Safe Harbor Seafood picks of the week. We'll tell you how we did. Half the week last week is completed. Real quick, don't need to delve into it, but last night, a TV game, South Florida played North Carolina State. North Carolina State bombed them at the end, 38-0, I think it was. Interesting, though, that's a future Florida opponent and a future Florida State opponent. So NC State will play FSU later in the year, and Florida has South Florida next Saturday, not this Saturday. But NC State, real quick, Coach, Doran, pretty nice job. He does a pretty nice job at NC State. He's a pretty solid coach, isn't he?
Yeah, he does a really good job, and I think he's got his best team this year. They really look good. I mean, they're a fast team at NC State, and they had a nice crowd there.
It was a good crowd.
They love football in the ACC.
Yeah, it was a nice crowd.
Some of us SEC people, we think, ACC, but no, I think NC State's going to beat a lot of people. South Florida, you know, they hired that coach from Clemson, thinking
Scott. Jeff Scott.
Jeff Scott, he's going to do what Dabo did. But time will tell, but he doesn't have a very good team, and this is his second year. So I don't know. I don't know how many they can win this year.
It's going to be tough.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough.
They probably got some teams down the road they can beat. But, that was not a very good outing for them. But, again, sometimes it goes bad. So maybe they can turn it around.
Let's take a break here. You are watching College Sports Today presented by the Allen Law Firm. Don't forget now, with offices in Gainesville and Ocala, the Allen Law Firm serving clients all over the state of Florida. How do you get a hold of them? If you've been in an accident or injured, very simple way to reach the Allen Law Firm. Pound yes, hit pound YES on the phone. Pound yes gets you right through. We, of course, are coming to you from inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grill in the Future Home Loan Studio. Over 2,000 five-star reviews for Future Home Loans. That's just not a coincidence. You don't rack up that many five-star reviews if you're not doing it right. Robert Lynn and his group, he is a proud veteran. He employs a lot of veterans inside Future Home Loans. If you're in or think you're going to be in the market for a new home, take care of the financing. Do it with the best out there. All over the Southeast, the fastest growing mortgage lender in the Southeast is Future Home Loans. We'll take a break, come back. It's picks time. The Safe Harbor Seafood picks are on every Friday. We'll kind of review half of our week from last week. We've got games tonight we've already picked, and then we'll dive into a busy Labor Day weekend. Coach Spurrier, Terry Norvell, and we're going to try and hook up with Shane Matthews for our picks. Don't go anywhere.
Unlike many lawyers you see on TV, I've lived here most of my life. Unlike those out-of-town lawyers, I'm personally involved with all of my clients, and they can reach me 24/7 if they need to. I'm right here for my clients right now. Me, not a case manager, and certainly not a lawyer you've never met and don't know. When it comes to something as important as your injury case, let me show you how personal and local stacks up against impersonal and not local. I think you'll like the difference.
Bleed and Louis! The good vibes! What? All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. Good vibes! All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again.
Taste the islands and every drop of Vida de Luis tequila. 100% blue agave from Tequila, Mexico. Good vibes.
All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again.
It's time to thank the sponsors that make college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell possible. Vida de Luis Tequila, the official tequila of college sports today. Make sure you ask for Vida de Luis Tequila by name in your favorite bars and restaurants throughout the state of Florida. And of course, with your next margarita inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Safe Harbor Seafood Mayport, Safe Harbor Seafood Crescent Beach, and Sliders Oyster Bar Neptune Beach. The official seafood restaurants of college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell can be found up and down the northeast Florida coast. Safe Harbor Seafood Mayport, Safe Harbor Seafood Crescent Beach, and Sliders Oyster Bar Neptune Beach. The proud seafood sponsors of college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell. J.B. Coxwell Contracting, established in 1983 and offering complete site development. Go with the company generally considered the most well-respected heavy civil construction firm in Northeast Florida. Go with J.B. Coxwell Construction. For advertising information to get your business on college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell, simply shoot me an email, tnsportsjacks@yahoo.com. Again, shoot me, Terry Norvell, an email, and I'll get back with you. That email address again, tnsportsjacks@yahoo.com. Special thanks to all the sponsors that make this show, College Sports Today, happen. Obviously, you know the Allen Law Firm, our title sponsor. Future Home Loans, they sponsor the studio here inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grill during our show. If you want to advertise on this program, we have a great football season special going on, a free month. How about that? You pay for 4 months, we'll give you the 5th month for free. A football special. You can join this group of great sponsors that make this show happen. And there's the offer we've got coming up here, and it's ongoing. If you've got a business you'd like to feature here on College Sports Today, take advantage. Buy 4 months, get the 5th month for free. Just reach out to me, Terry Norvell, tnsportsjacks@yahoo.com. Again, tnsportsjacks@yahoo.com. Again, we are coming to you here on a Friday. I want to thank the Allen Law Firm. Pound yes if you need to reach them and talk about any accident, any injury that you or somebody in your family or a friend may have suffered. Pound YES, the quick way to get through to the Allen Law Firm. And of course, we want to thank Future Home Loans as we broadcast from the Future Home Loan Studio. I do believe Coach Spurrier's with us, obviously. I do believe we've got Mr. Shane Matthews. Shane, how the heck are you?
Doing well, guys. How are y'all?
Doing well. Let's catch up. We did our picks. Kind of a weird week. We're covering 3 days. Shane and Coach, we're all 4-1 right now. The only game we've missed so far is Nebraska. Coach, we all missed the Nebraska game. Last night we all, Ohio State, UCF, and App State. Catching everybody up, and we'll put the games. The five games tonight we've already picked. We all like North Carolina over Virginia Tech. We all like Wake Forest tonight over Old Dominion. Michigan State, Northwestern, we all like Northwestern. Shane and Coach, there are two games that we have some differences that are played tonight. And here's where we stand, as you see on the screen coming up. Coach Spurrier, you and I like Duke at Charlotte. Duke won that game big. Shane went with Charlotte. What are you hearing about your Dukies this year?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't heard too much. They haven't been too loud, I don't think, in preseason. But Charlotte could get them. You know, they're playing in Charlotte, and they're expecting one of the biggest crowds for the 49ers.
Yeah.
That's their nickname up there.
Sure.
But Duke, you know, that's my old school where I learned how to coach. I tell everybody whatever I learned, it was at Duke. So I got to pull for those guys, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if Charlotte won this one.
Shane Matthews, you're on the record. Do you like the 49ers? Did you just throw a dart on a board, or you got some inside scoop there about that game tonight?
No, I don't have any scoop at all. I want to say Charlotte played pretty well late in the year. I can't remember. I think they have a second-year coach. I can't even remember his name, but I don't know. Duke's been struggling. They struggled last year. I said, what the heck? It's early in the year. I'll see if there's an upset.
So, Coach, hopefully we gain one on the defending champion from last year. Shane won the Safe Harbor Seafoods Picks contest. He is the defending champion. And then the final game tonight, we've already picked these games. You and Coach, you and Shane like South Dakota State, they were the runners-up last year in Division II, I call it. I like Colorado State. So there's going to be a little bit of movement, guys, that will happen. Evan, can we throw the games up real quick? We'll show the audience the games we're about to pick, and then we'll pull them down. But we've got 10 games. Here's the list, Coach. You can see it over there. It's going to pop up here in a moment. We've got 8 tomorrow, and then we'll pick the Sunday night game, and then we'll pick the Monday night, Labor Day night game. So here we go. Evan, you can bring us back on. And Shane, you ready? We'll let you go first. You're the defending champion. Ready to go?
What's the first game? Wisconsin?
All right, we're going to lead off. Really good game, by the way. Top 20 matchup. Penn State at Wisconsin, noon on Fox. Shane Matthews, we'll let you take a first crack.
I'll take the Badgers at home. I don't know anything about either one of these. I think they're evenly matched, but I'll take the home team. I'll take Wisconsin.
So Wisconsin at home. Coach, Penn State, both these teams have pretty decent quarterbacks. Penn State on the road. Big Ten opener. How do you see this thing playing out?
Gosh, I think this is a flip 'em, toss a coin game. But I'm going to go with Penn State. They had one of the worst years James Franklin's ever had at Penn State last year. So I see them bouncing back with a better team this year.
Hell of a game, though. I mean, again, noon tomorrow, Fox, right out of the gate. By the way, tonight, probably the best watchable game probably will be North Carolina, Virginia Tech. That's a 6 p.m. kick, so don't let that game get by you. They kick that thing off at 6. I'm going with Wisconsin. I think it's a really good game. I'm going to go with Shane and go Wisconsin. Home team. I like Graham Mertz. I think the quarterback for Wisconsin has a breakout season. Coach, I'll let you lead off this next pick. One of the marquee games of the day tomorrow, 3:30 on ABC. Alabama neutral site against Miami. Alabama-Miami, Coach, neutral site. What do you think?
I think that's a pretty easy pick to go with Alabama.
Okay.
They'll be ready to play. And Miami could give them a good game for a while, but I think Alabama's a little too strong for Miami.
So the defending national champions, Coach Spurrier, goes with Alabama neutral site against Miami. Shane, I'll go next real quick. Obviously, I'm taking Alabama. The closer this game gets to kickoff, I'm convinced. I think Miami's going to play a nice game. I'm with Coach Spurrier. I think Miami's going to represent well. I don't think they're going to win the game, Shane, but I think Miami makes this thing a watchable game into the second half. Shane, how do you see Miami, Alabama, neutral site?
Well, I don't know if it'll be watchable in the second half.
Okay.
I know Alabama lost a lot of good players on offense, but I'm not sold on Miami yet. And in order for DeGarrett King, who's coming off an ACL injury, he's going to have to complete some balls. He can't just run around and make plays. I don't think he's a good enough thrower, and I could be proven 100% wrong. But I think I think this is going to be like one of those 34-6 type games when it's all said and done.
Staying with this game real quick, Miami needs to muddle the game. It needs to be an ugly game like that Florida-Miami game 2 years ago. in the Citrus Bowl. Remember that? Miami turned that into an ugly game and nearly pulled that thing out. So we're all across the board Bama. I think I like Bama, but I think Miami will play well. Coach, I guess I got to go first at some point, right? Another really good game. Ranked teams out of the Big Ten tomorrow, 3:30, Big Ten Network. You have Indiana. Michael Penix, the injured quarterback, is back. Indiana on the road at Iowa. What a tough game right out of the gate. Couple ranked teams. I'll lead things off, guys. This I think is a coin toss ball game. I'll go with Indiana. I'm going to take Indiana, and I'm scared of this pick. Shane, I'll let you go second here. Indiana on the road at Iowa.
Yeah, Indiana's been a good story the last couple of years with their new coach, but I think Iowa plays extremely well at home. They kind of lull you to sleep and boring type of football. I'll take the Hawkeyes.
So Shane goes Iowa, I go Indiana. Another Big Ten great matchup to kick the season off. Coach, how do you see this one?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Indiana also. I know there's been a lot of preseason hype up there about Indiana, and I've taken 2 road teams right now. Ooh. I don't know how that'll turn out, but we'll find out.
All right, we're having some differences of opinion. It'll make it a lot of fun next week. Gosh, I want to say, I don't know if this is 100% true. Kirk Ferentz at Iowa, he's got to be one of the granddaddies of college football, right? He's been there forever. He's still at Iowa, right? Right, Shane? He's still there.
Yep, he's still there.
Yeah, Kirk Ferentz, still getting it done. Coach Spurrier, will let you lead one off here. Our next game, another 3:30. This is 3:30 ESPN. West Virginia. All the talk about maybe they're being flirted with some conferences. West Virginia at Maryland. I think this is a tough pick. West Virginia at Maryland. How do you see it, Coach Spurrier?
I'm going to go with West Virginia. I'm going to take the road team again, I guess. Yeah. Heck, I don't know a lot about either one of these teams, but I think West Virginia has played better over the last several years than Maryland. I guess that's why I'm taking them.
Shane, West Virginia, Maryland, we haven't seen these guys. Again, college football, one of the things I love, there's no preseason. You tee it up, you see them from the opening kickoff, and I like that, by the way. I think Coach Spurrier hit it. Boy, we just don't have enough, no eyeball test on them yet, not on a lot of coverage. West Virginia, Maryland, Shane.
Yeah, I'm going to lean towards the Mountaineers. No reason here. I'm kind of with Coach. Maryland hadn't done anything in a long, long time. I'll go with West Virginia.
I'm going to close it out with West Virginia. Maryland's started to recruit a little bit better. They're increasing their talent level. I don't know if they're ready to.
Tua's little brother's the quarterback
went up
at
there?
Maryland, I think.
Yeah, you're good point.
They call him Little Tua.
Good point. I'll lead this next game.
He's a good player.
Yeah.
He's a really good player. So it wouldn't surprise me if Maryland wins it. But
that's a tough game.
Go with West Virginia.
That is a tough game. Louisiana, they're on the road tomorrow. 4:30 Fox game. So you can catch this one on Fox at 4:30. Louisiana, they went on the road last year and upset Iowa State. Okay, Louisiana, again, season opener on the road at Texas. Sarkisian, first game as the head coach. I'll lead this off, guys. I'm going to take Texas. This is a sneaky game where some people think Louisiana might be a tough out here. What do you think, Coach Spurrier?
Yeah, Louisiana's the team that beat Iowa State in the bowl game last year, I think. So they're a really good team. I'm going with Texas, so I think Sarkisian's going to have a real big year this year at Texas.
Shane, I'm assuming you're going Texas as well. Thumbnail, what you think Sark gets done first year? And maybe I scooped you. Who do you like in the game?
I like the Raging Cajuns.
Okay, you like Louisiana. Okay.
I love Sarkisian. I think it's going to take him a year or two. I have a close buddy that actually has a son that plays for Texas, and his concern is they don't have great speed on the outside, which surprises me.
Wow.
He's talking about the receivers, so that was his concern. So Louisiana, this is a huge game for them. I think it'll be very entertaining, but I'm going to go with the Raging Cajuns in the upset.
I stand corrected. Let me let Shane make his own picks.
That's right.
He said Louisiana. Now, little spinoff. If Louisiana was to upset Texas tomorrow, on the heels of last year, they upset Iowa State right out of the gate. Mm-hmm. Isn't that Billy Napier up there? He's already getting talked about. Boy, you wonder, could Louisiana keep him if he gets another big win? He'd be everybody's hot commodity. Shane Matthews goes Louisiana on the upset, Coach. Coach, I'm going to throw you a good national game, probably the biggest game of the weekend on paper. This game has been talked about. This has been the big off-season game all year, the last 6 months. Neutral site, Georgia, Coach Spurrier, Georgia versus Clemson, 7:30 kick, ABC. The big one we've all talked about for 6 months. They're going to finally kick it off tomorrow, Coach. How do you see it?
Oh, it's again a toss-em-up game. I'm going to pick Clemson simply because it's in Charlotte, sort of ACC country. Clemson may have actually a few more fans there. But it's going to be a very interesting game. JT Daniels, he didn't play all that super against Cincinnati. He played pretty well. But against good defenses, we're going to find out if he is a Heisman quarterback.
Yeah.
And DJ Angalele, he played a little bit last year, and I saw where he's up for the Heisman also. So anyway,
he's on it. Yeah. 4 games, he's up for the Heisman. So Coach Spurrier is on the record. He likes Clemson tomorrow. Close game?
Yeah, I think it'd be pretty close.
Yeah, I think stay together. Shane, the big one. We've all kicked it around for 6 months. How do you see it if you got to pick it? And you have to pick it.
Well, I've always liked what Dabo does up there, but, I just have in the picture of my mind how they struggled up the middle defensively last year, whether it was at the linebacker position or the safety position, and Ohio State and a couple other teams took advantage of that. And until then, I'm going to lean towards Georgia. I think this is a game that Georgia needs to win. I'm hoping Georgia doesn't win it, but I think Georgia wins.
I'm going to go with Clemson. So we've got a lot of mixture here. I'm going to go with Clemson. Interesting, too, DJ Uiagalelei and JT Daniels, they get together tomorrow on the football field. They went at it in high school. They were 2 California guys.
California, I knew that.
At 2 big, powerful high schools.
Here's what's crazy, Terry. The top 4 teams in America, all 4 of their quarterbacks are from the state of California, and none of them are in the state. The schools aren't even in the state of California.
Did not know that. I didn't know that. How about that? So Clemson.
The Ohio State quarterback's from California.
Yeah, California guy. So 2 Clemsons and 1 Georgia. Shane Matthews takes the Dogs in the big game. Another big game. Now, this is going to time out pretty well. LSU is at UCLA. That's an 8:30 Eastern game. So if you're going Georgia-Clemson the whole way, we should get a good solid fourth quarter of just LSU versus UCLA. Obviously at UCLA. LSU's season opener, Coach Spurrier, I'll let you go first here. LSU's season opener, UCLA played a game last week. I don't know if that factors in. Pretty attractive game. 8:30 Fox tomorrow. LSU at UCLA. Coach, what do you got?
I'm going to take the home team, UCLA. They got a lot to play for. I know they're probably a 2-touchdown underdog to LSU. But LSU, where are they practicing now with the hurricane?
They went to Houston.
There in Texas. Houston,
yeah, LSU will basically be on a week road trip. They took off like Sunday, Monday to Houston for a couple days, and then they flew out Thursday, which is normal. You're going to go Thursday for the West Coast. But, yeah, they've been displaced for a whole week.
Yeah. So, that shouldn't bother them that much.
You wouldn't think.
I just think the home team, UCLA, may have a lot to play for, and so I'm gonna pick the upset right there.
Shane Matthews, LSU, SEC, West Coast, UCLA. Thoughts?
Well,
pick.
LSU's gone through a lot. There's no question.
Yeah.
But when you look at the rosters, I don't think there's any comparison from a talent standpoint. I'll be anxious to see with the 2 new coordinators how LSU plays. But when it's all said and done, I watched UCLA. They looked okay last week against a bad Hawaii team, but their quarterback's going to have to complete some passes. And I don't know if he can do it against LSU. So I think the LSU Tigers come out of there with a win.
Shane Matthews goes LSU here. This is week 1, our picks. Second week, but week 1, our Safe Harbor Seafood picks of the week. Safe Harbor Seafood, of course, 2 great locations, Mayport and Crescent Beach. Yes, sir.
I'm going to change mine to LSU.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't like that.
That's fair. We're well within the change. Shane, you're okay with that, right?
LSU.
No, you didn't talk me into it. I started thinking about the crowd that UCLA had against
There ain't
Hawaii.
nobody going to be there.
There was nobody. So what makes me think that they're going to have the crowd behind them and all this, that, and the other? So LSU, obviously, the line of scrimmage, they're the stronger team. So I'm going to switch over to LSU.
Okay, that's well within the time limits. We check with the rules. You're fine. We are fine. I'm going LSU as well. I think this is a great game. I think it's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun. I'll go with LSU, and I tell you, I nearly went with UCLA, but I didn't. Final game tomorrow. Then we got two more, and we'll get out of here. I'll lead this one off. I think this is a tough one because we don't know a lot about these two teams. Texas Tech at Houston. Texas Tech at Houston. I'll take Dana Holgorsen at home. Needs something good to happen. I'll take Houston. Shane, how do you see this one? I know we haven't seen him. Obviously, no preseason games. Texas Tech, Houston.
Yeah, I don't even know who the coach is at Texas Tech right now.
Matt Wells, kid from Utah, I think, did a nice job. Or Utah State. Okay.
I don't know. I feel like Houston didn't play real well last year. Not that has anything to do with this year, but I'm going to go with the road team. I'm going to go guns up, and I'm taking the Red Raiders.
Okay. Texas Tech, road team, Shane Matthews. Coach, again, Matt Wells been there 2 years at Texas Tech. Holgorsen came over from West Virginia. He's been there a couple years. Now, Shane mentioned last year wasn't a great year. He also lost his quarterback. Remember, D'Eriq King kind of took off. He thought he had a stable quarterback, and King took off. Texas Tech on the road at Houston. Coach Spurrier.
I tell you what, that's a flip a coin game, I think. But I'm going to go with Texas Tech.
Okay.
I like Matt Wells. I think he's a good coach that sort of earned the job there at the Power 5 school. So I'll go with Texas Tech.
Okay, boy, we've got a lot of different picks.
Yeah.
We do. Two more quick games. That wraps up the games we're going to take that will be played tomorrow on Saturday. Sunday night, one game, 7:30 ABC game on Sunday. Notre Dame at Florida State. Shane Matthews, Knowles again. Season opening, tough opponent. They bite off Notre Dame, kind of a perennial top 10 team the last 5 years. How do you see it playing out in Tallahassee tomorrow?
Well, I've never have liked Notre Dame. Still don't. I don't know who they have on their roster, but until FSU can play a little bit better, I'm going to pick against them, and I'm going to take Notre Dame.
Notre Dame for Shane Matthews. Coach Spurrier.
Yeah, Notre Dame's top 10 in the country picked by almost everybody, and I don't think FSU was picked in the top 25, were they?
No.
So it'd be a huge upset. So I think Notre Dame will win this one, but I think FSU will give a good showing. I do.
Yeah, Notre Dame is Brian Kelly's really turned in they play physical football. Mm-hmm. It doesn't always match up when they run into Clemson or Alabama, but Notre Dame I think is way too physical right now. FSU's lines of scrimmage have got to be totally rebuilt. I think they've got a ways to go. Give me Notre Dame in that one. Guys, I'll lead off. The weekend will wrap up with what should be a fun game. There should be a lot of points scored. Monday, Labor Day night, one game, 8 o'clock, ESPN, Louisville, under Scott Satterfield, takes it on the road at Ole Miss. Louisville at Ole Miss. Ole Miss, I think, a lot like Florida, will play much better defense. I think Kiffin has made a real point to bring in transfers to try and shore up a little bit on that defensive side. I think the ball's going to be in the end zone a lot. Coach Spurrier, I'm going Ole Miss on the final game Monday night. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm going Ole Miss because they're at home. If it was at Louisville, I would take Louisville. They're a pretty good team, so it should be a heck of a game Monday night.
Shane Matthews, assess the final game we pick.
Yeah, I like the Rebels. I think it's going to be a track meet. I think Satterfield does a great job at Louisville. They're going to score a ton of points. This could be like a 45-40 type game, but I think Ole Miss finds a way to win.
There you go. Shane, thanks so much for your time. Defending champion, we're all 4-1. We got some games tonight, and then a busy Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Thanks, Shane.
All right, buddy. Take care.
Appreciate it, Coach. We're down. We are down. Before we get you out of here, hey, it's time. I got to believe your restaurant is going to be hopping today, tomorrow, and all weekend.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see how it goes on the football weekend.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. There's so many games that you could flip a coin, go either way. And that's what we love to see in college football. And that's what we love seeing in any sport,
Sure,
really. A
sure.
good close ball game, and
Sure.
maybe the team that plays the best makes the play at the end of the game to win it, ultimately becomes the winner. So I look for our Gators to play well.
Yeah.
I think we're ready to really have a good showing
Yeah.
against that team we got coming in from FAU.
FAU.
Willie Taggart's team. So looking forward to watching that one.
Nkosi Perry, the quarterback by way of Miami, will be the quarterback. Coach, we'll let you get out of here. Thanks so much for your time. Have a good weekend. We're going to give you and Shane Monday off, long extended weekend. Enjoy. I'm sure you're going to work at the restaurant a lot. I'm sure you're going to spend some time with family, and I know you're going to enjoy some college football. Thanks, Coach. We appreciate it. We'll take a quick break, come back. I'll reset what we did and what we're going to do and remind you about a big college football radio show I'm involved on Saturdays. That and a whole lot more on the other side.
Unlike many lawyers you see on TV, I've lived here most of my life. Unlike those out-of-town lawyers, I'm personally involved with all of my clients, and they can reach me 24/7 if they need to. I'm right here for my clients right now. Me, not a case manager, and certainly not a lawyer you've never met and don't know. When it comes to something as important as your injury case, let me show you how personal and local stacks up against impersonal and not local. I think you'll like the difference.
Vida de Louis! The good vibes! What? All the good vibes we had, we'll have again. Good vibes! All the good vibes we had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again.
Taste the islands and every drop of Vida de Louis tequila. 100% blue agave from Tequila, Mexico. Good
All the
vibes.
good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again.
It's time to thank the sponsors that make college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell possible. Vida de Louis Tequila, the official tequila of college sports today. Make sure you ask for Vida de Louis Tequila by name in your favorite bars and restaurants throughout the state of Florida, and of course, with your next margarita inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Safe Harbor Seafood Mayport, Safe Harbor Seafood Crescent Beach, and Sliders Oyster Bar Neptune Beach. The official seafood restaurants of college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell can be found up and down the Northeast Florida coast. Safe Harbor Seafood Mayport, Safe Harbor Seafood Crescent Beach, and Sliders Oyster Bar Neptune Beach. The proud seafood sponsors of college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell. J.B. Coxwell Contracting, established in 1983 and offering complete site development. Go with the company generally considered the most well-respected heavy civil construction firm in Northeast Florida. Go with J.B. Coxwell Construction. For advertising information to get your business on college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell, simply shoot me an email, tnsportsjacks@yahoo.com. Again, shoot me, Terry Norvell, an email, and I'll get back with you. That email address again, tnsportsjacks@yahoo.com. Putting the final wrap here on a Friday edition. Our picks are in the books. You hope you didn't miss it. If you did, the show is always archived on the Facebook pages, and also all you podcast listeners, you can go to the picks at any time. We want to thank Safe Harbor Seafood, Deanna and Chris Wooten. They do a great job as one of our longtime sponsors, and they're very proud sponsors of the Safe Harbor Seafood Picks of the Week. A lot of different picks between me, Coach, and Shane. You can track them as we will all weekend long. I want to thank the Allen Law Firm, Gainesville office, Ocala office, the title sponsor of College Sports Today. Thank you to Allen Law Firm. I'll give you the contact number, pound YES on the phone. Also check out what they do and what they can do for you if you've been injured or in an accident on their website. They've got a wonderful website, allenlaw.com. Again, ALLEN. AllenLaw.com, our title sponsor, the Allen Law Firm of College Sports Today. We broadcast every show from inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grill here in Gainesville, and we are inside the Future Home Loans studio thanks to Robert Lynn and his entire team, the fastest growing mortgage lending company in the Southeast in 4 years. They have done it quick and they've done it right. Over 2,000 five-star reviews. You just can't make that up. You just can't fake that. Proud veteran-owned business, Future Home Loans. Bang them into the Google search. They've got a wonderful educational website as well. If you're getting into the world of mortgage and home buying, it can be confusing at times. Some of the terms, some of the wording can be confusing. They've got a bunch of great tutorials on their website, Future Home Loans, if you want to brush up as you're getting into that and go with the best, Future Home Loans. Proud sponsors of our Future Home Loans studio here on College Sports Today. A couple quick things, some housekeeping I want to get to. Remember, we still have our free football month special going on. If you want to get your business advertised right here on College Sports Today, we're on a number of platforms, multiple Facebook Live pages, YouTube pages for the show streaming. We're on the 15 leading podcast platforms, just a million ways to consume College Sports Today. If you want to get involved, we would love to talk to you about working your budget around our show and get you some great exposure. Feel free to reach out to me, Terry Norvell, tnsportsjacks@yahoo.com, or DM me anytime off the page, and I will get with you, and we will make that happen. Hey, some stuff coming up. I always want to remind you guys, I'm involved on a Saturday morning radio show out of 1010XL and 92.5 FM, the big stations in Jacksonville, the Gator station, the Gator affiliate in Jacksonville, and the Jaguar official Jaguar station. We do a show, myself and Matt Hayes, one of the best college football writers in the country. Matt Hayes is well known. He's a good friend of mine. We have now teamed up. We do a Saturday kickoff show all college football season. It'll be on tomorrow. Catch it on 1010XL, 92.5 FM, all their podcasts as well. 11 till 1 is the general time. Sometimes that's massaged due to Gator kickoff and their 3-hour pregame. So it'll be about 11 to 12:30 tomorrow. No, we're on full time, 11 to 1, because Gators play at night. So you can always follow that on Saturday. Now, we will not be on the following Saturday because Florida plays a 1 o'clock game. But note this down, particularly you folks in the Gainesville area. On Alabama Saturday, we're going to do the show live from a Sonny's in Gainesville. I'll have all the details and the address, but start making plans to come by and say hi. Matt Hayes, myself, Terry Norvell will be broadcasting live on the 18th, the Alabama-Florida Saturday. We'll do that show 11 to 12:30 from a local Sonny's here in Gainesville. We'll give you details further as we go, and of course post all of that up on College Sports Today. That'll wrap it up. A lot of fun. First time we had all three of us really getting into the real picks. Week 1 is upon us in college football. I hope you caught that. If not, you can always catch it on the archives. I want to thank some people that make this show happen, including our best producer in the world, Evan Miller, who does a lot behind the scenes. I hope everybody appreciates. We've got the easy part. There's a lot that goes on, and getting it done production-wise is the hard part. Thanks to Evan Miller. He makes it happen. Thanks to Coach Spurrier, Shane Matthews, of course, and thanks to you for watching. We'll come back Monday. Going to have kind of a fun roundtable show on Monday. Going to give Coach Spurrier and Shane that final really the final holiday before Thanksgiving. We're going to give Coach and Shane the Monday off, but we will have a show 11 a.m. College Sports Today, kind of wrapping up the busy first full weekend of college football. Join us Monday, 11 a.m. for the next edition of College Sports Today.